Hi! Okay, so I'm going to do a bunch of reviews right now. And the first is a book I finished a couple nights ago. I actually stayed up all night. I was up until 6:30 in the morning reading it. And that's The Hunger Games by Suzanne. I actually started it once and put it down and just went back to it. So a lot of people say it's really good, and I figured find out on my own. So I'm going to read the summary, even though I'm sure most people already know what it's about. Okay. In the ruins of a place once known as North America lies the nation of Pan Am, a shining capital surrounded by 12 outlying districts. The capital is harsh and cruel and keeps the districts in line by forcing them all to send one boy and one girl between the ages of 12 and 18 to participate in the annual Hunger Games, a fight to the death on live TV. 16-year-old Katniss Everdeen, who lives alone with her mother and younger sister, regards it as a death sentence when she steps forward to take her sister's place in the games. But Katniss has been close to dead before, and survival for her is second nature. Without really meaning to, she becomes a contender, but if she is to win, she will have to start making choices that weigh survival against humanity and life against love. And I loved it. I mean, I wouldn't have stayed up until 6:30 in the morning to read a book that I thought sucked. So it definitely kept me engaged, and I was a little surprised. I thought that the book, because there's 3 parts, the part 1 is the tributes, part 2 is I think the games, and the third one is the victor. And I guess I really expected it to be Katniss volunteers and then the games begin. And I actually think it's better the way it's written, I guess, which makes sense why Suzanne Collins wrote it that way. They prepare for the games and practice and everything, and that's really interesting. And I didn't know, because I guess going into the book I figured Katniss was going to have to kill somebody at some point, and I didn't know how I was going to feel about that. Like, how can I get behind a heroine that's killing and murder, for lack of a better topic? I mean, some of these people, or lack of a better word, some of these people, I mean, there is like a 12-year-old girl in the games, even though Katniss steps up for her 12-year-old sister. That isn't the case for someone else, and it's really emotional. I think it's a great book. I give it a 4 out of 5 for one reason and one reason only. I hate cliffhangers. I don't mind plot cliffhangers where it's like you don't know what's gonna happen, like if the book ended with like you not knowing if Katniss lives or dies or something like that. I would have been fine with that. Like, that's totally okay. I really hate emotional cliffhangers, is what I'm calling them, and that's what you have in here. And I don't have immediate access to the sequel, and even then the third book, which is Mockingjay, doesn't come out for a while, so obviously I'm sure this is Catching Fire ends the same way. I knew there was going to be romance, which there is, I guess, but again, I was questioning how you're in this life or death situation, how do you put romance in? And I guess I shouldn't question Suzanne Collins when I pick up this book. I should just accept that she can do it because she did it well, and I really felt for Katniss. So yeah, it's definitely a good book. I recommend it. It's a coming-of-age story, and I'm really excited to read Catching Fire and then read Mockingjay when it comes out. And another thing I would really like is a map of like Pan Am. Like, I get that the capital is like Denver, and I'm assuming District 12, which is where she lives, is like Virginia, because she says they live in like the Appalachians, like the Appalachian Trail, which is where that is, I think. And they're coal miners, so that's where they mine coals, like Pennsylvania and Virginia and stuff. And I think District 13 is beyond that, so I'm wondering if like I live in District 13. And so if that's the case, I think it would just be cool to have like a little map. Maybe there is in another book, but I can visualize it in my head. But I'd prefer if she like told me. Suzanne Collins told me exactly where everything was. But yeah, I definitely recommend it. And for people of all ages. Like, I'm 21, and so there's a pretty big age difference between myself and Katniss, and I still enjoyed it, and I think a lot of people would. I think, like, my parents would like this book, so 4 out of 5.